So this is probably going to be my final video for Season 2 for Skull and Bones because I just really didn't enjoy it, but I wanted to explain exactly how the manufacturing changes work because I know a lot of players are going to be frustrated when they get their hands on this. And basically what they have done now is it's basically fleet management, if they want to call it that, but it really doesn't work how it should, or at least in my opinion anyway. So basically you get your manufactories the same way you previously did. There's a couple of new ways to get your hands on them. There is one where instead of it being the hostile PvP takeover or the legendary heist co-op takeover, there is now a solo takeover you can go and do on your own. On top of that, they also have a buyout thing. You go and speak to this person at an outpost. You give them rubies. I've seen someone do it for 25 rubies. I don't know if that price ever changes. For 25 rubies, you're going to get your hands on another manufactory. So there's a couple of new ways to obtain them. But when you have them, it's exactly the same way to upgrade them. You need to use your pieces of 8. You upgrade them, they're going to produce more, but it takes longer, so on and so forth. Now, when it comes to not having to manually collect, and when you want some ships to automatically collect your pieces of 8, this is where they should have done it different. Basically, what you have to do is have your manufactory at a minimum level of level 4. Luckily, I had a lease. I could go get a manufactory at level 4 straight away. I did manage to get a second one because I wanted to test something out. But when you have a manufactory level 4, you can go into its menu, you can assign a ship. This is not an AI ship. They take your weapons, they take your ships out of your control, and that is the ship you have assigned to go and automatically collect the pieces of 8. So basically, I've got one of the forts, it's level 4. I've assigned my sandbuck, because I'm currently sailing around in my brigantine. I've assigned my sandbuck, so now, unless I unassign it, I cannot use my sandbuck, I cannot use the weapons that I have, or the furniture, or even the armor that I've got on that sandbuck. It is all tied in to that automatic collection of the manufactory. But whilst the manufactory doesn't have the right amount of pieces of 8 for your ship to collect, because the higher your ship rank, the more pieces of 8 it's going to be able to deliver, while your manufactory doesn't have that amount, your ship sits there assigned, docked, doing nothing. You can unassign them, that is a good feature, I'm glad you can do that. But the further away from a den, so T-Lock Penjara or St. Anne, the further away, the longer it takes your ship. And the reason I got a second manufactory is because I wanted to see if I could assign one ship to go and do multiple collections, bearing in mind that the lower the rank of your ship, the bigger the risk it is that you're going to have your ship taken out on that collection run. And when I got my second manufactory at level 4, I tried assigning the sandbuck and you cannot do it. So you are only allowed one ship to be assigned to these manufactories at a time, and you are only allowed one manufactory per ship. So, for an example, you go to Garand, which is just south of St. Anne. Your ship, providing you've got enough pieces of 8 ready, your ship is going to take 5 minutes to travel there and get back with your pieces of 8. After it's completed that run, you have to go back into the menu, you have to assign it to the fort, and that's going to take 10 minutes. That's for places that are very, very close to St. Anne. So if you are going to the far top left of the map, you're probably going to have to wait a good hour and a half or something for your ship that you have to basically assign control over to Ubisoft for. They basically turn it into AI. You're going to have to wait ages for your ship to go and collect those pieces of 8 and bring them back to the den. And there are some that are going to be closer to the dens that are going to have a much lower risk, so you can use your smaller ships like your Sentinels and things like that. But when it comes to the big, beefy, really far away manufactories, you're going to have to wait a long, long time for these ships to do their runs, and they are all the ships that you own. And if I remember correctly, looking in the patch notes and stuff, I believe they've given you a way to sell ships that you no longer want. But you shouldn't be doing that at all. It was a pointless thing to add into the game, because you need as many ships as you can get your hands on so that you can do these manufactory runs. So overall, the automatic collection doesn't really benefit you that much. Because you're going to be waiting so much time, you can only have one manufactory assigned to each ship. You can only have one ship on a manufactory. And it takes so long for the pieces of 8 to build up because they extended all of the durations and stuff. You might as well just go around and do it manually. There was no point to doing this automatic collection thing because it's only going to save you a little bit of hassle. You're still going to have to do a lot of it manually or just wait a very, very long time. And not only that, they've now added in that you can defend your manufactories. And I saw a comment on a video. Someone said, when you have a manufactory that's level 10 and you try defending it, it's an absolute joke. They said you end up with about 15 to 20 level 12 ships attacking you all at once with some weapons that are able to take you out of the water in 2 or 3 hits. And the thing is with the settlements or the manufactories now, depending on their level, if they are attacked and you fail to defend them, you have to have them out of action for a very, very long time. And I believe when they're level 10 manufactories, you cannot produce any pieces of 8. All production will cease until the repair is done, and it's 13 hours to get that repaired. So they've made it stupidly difficult to defend against the invasions, and if you fail to defend, you have to wait hours upon hours for your manufactories to start producing again. So essentially, with this season, they have added more depth into some of the features, but they've done it in a way that makes it more grindy and more frustrating. Oh, and it's not even 13 hours, it's 14. And let's just say, for an example, you've got a level 5 manufactory, you go to defend it, you struggle, you lose the battle, your manufactory stops producing. A level 5 manufactory is 5 hours. It's basically for every level, it goes up an extra hour until you get to level 7. That jumps from 6 hours up to 8. And then level 8 is 10 hours, level 9 is 12 hours, level 10 is 14 hours. So yeah, they've made changes that add to the depth of it, but that's basically all they've done. Like, there are so many things that can now mess you about, basically. Because if you have a manufactory that you want to auto-collect your pieces of 8, and you've got a ship that's not low risk, say it's not a really high-leveled ship, you are risking actually losing your pieces of 8 because the ships that you set, that you assign to the manufactory, can be attacked, and if they lose the fight, not only are you going to lose your pieces of 8, but you're also going to have to spend silver to repair those ships. And they take everything with them. And when they're on a journey, you can't change their loadout or anything like that. You have to give them weapons, furniture, armor, and all of it is out of your control until those runs are done. So that is exactly how the manufactories and stuff are working now. There's probably 1 or 2 things that I missed out in this video, but I think they have done this the worst way they possibly could. I think they should have given you like a preset fleet. You shouldn't be using your own ships. I think you should have been able to basically set up an actual route for your ships to take, so they're not just collecting from one manufactory at a time. And then I think that would have been a little bit better. But overall, that's exactly how it works. And what we're going to do is leave that video there. Let me know your thoughts and stuff about the changes for Season 2 in the comments. And I'll see you guys on the next one. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.